Let's talk about your calendar as a coach. So, question, does your calendar look like just a little bit of a hot mess? You know what I mean. Either you literally don't know how to organize your calendar for your coaching business and you sit down and instantly feel overwhelmed because you don't know what you should be doing first or second, and that leads to procrastination and doing nothing, which feels bad. Or you have a client call at 9 a.m., then you try to write a blog post at 10:30, then you answer emails, then you have another client call at 2 p.m., and by 5 p.m. you are exhausted. But you look at your to-do list and you realize you didn't actually really build your business today, which also feels bad. Either way, I've got some help for you. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Christy Mims. I'm the founder of Coach Pony, and I've helped tens of thousands of coaches like you build their coaching businesses. The context switching trap. First, you might be familiar, but I want to remind you about context switching. So context switching is when you switch from tasks that are wildly different from each other, like switching from coaching to working on contract language, for instance. When you switch from coach mode, which is what I would consider empathetic, listening, holding space, to CEO mode, which is much more about logistics, writing copy, paying bills, strategizing, and you do it all the time, your brain burns a massive amount of energy. It takes about 20 minutes to refocus every time you switch tasks. So if you are multitasking all day, left and right, you're literally losing hours of productivity to brain fog. So the secret to success, as you know, isn't always about working harder. I'm sure you know this, but it's really about working smarter. It's about batching and setting recurring tasks on your calendar and doing like tasks with like tasks. Let's not have you recreate the wheel every single week. Instead, let's set it and forget it. The new coach schedule. Steal this. When I was first starting out as a career coach, I quickly realized I couldn't coach every day. So I created a schedule that separated my business building tasks from my client serving ones. And if you are scrambling to know how to structure your day as a coach, here is the exact breakdown you should consider trying, and feel free to adapt it to fit your biorhythms and your own life commitments. So, Mondays are for planning and admin. I personally never booked clients on Mondays because I'm not always an awesome human being on Mondays. Instead, Monday was for looking at the week ahead, getting a soft start to the week, prepping client worksheets, reviewing client homework, and setting my one big marketing goal for the week. This sets you up to win before the chaos starts. And I also set aside an hour or two for marketing and for general learning on Mondays as well. I found Monday afternoon was a relaxed time to learn about my marketing platform, coaching, anything else I needed to do, and try to plan how to be just a little bit more visible in my business. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning, I set aside for coaching. I batched almost all of my client calls into 2.5 days. This allowed me to get into the coach zone and stay there. So I wasn't worried about writing emails. I was just focused on being a great coach. And here's a pro tip from my early days. I also used Tuesday and Wednesday nights for networking. Since I was already in a sort of people mode from coaching clients, I used that energy to go to local events in the evening or just catch up with someone over the phone or touch base with them over text. It keeps your energy batched so you don't have to put on your extrovert face on every single day, especially if you are an introvert like me. Now, early in my business, when I didn't have clients on those days, I blocked off my calendar as if I had clients. So I'd get used to having that mental space, but I also used that time for my marketing. So in my case, early on as a coach, I did a lot of public speaking as my primary form of marketing my business. So I spent my marketing time networking with organizations, writing pitches to speak, and working on my talks. And then Thursday afternoon is always for marketing. This is crucial. You need to dedicate time to write your blog, to record your videos, to go to networking events, or whatever it is that you've decided to focus on. If you try to squeeze this marketing activity into like whenever you have a moment, it's really never going to happen. And if I didn't have clients on Thursday mornings, I spent the whole day focused on marketing. And finally, Fridays are for what I like to call the cleanup. I used Fridays to respond to non-urgent emails, pay bills, and do the admin tasks that I absolutely never loved. So part of the cleanup is also a form of self-care. I used Fridays to recharge my social batteries, and to relax and to rest. So I have a strict rule for Fridays even today. I try and never talk to anyone, really anyone at all. So no client calls, no team meetings, no podcast interviews. So for me, this is an introvert's paradise. Knowing I have a silent day at the end of the week helps me to power through the loud days earlier in the week. Friday is also when I check on that one big marketing goal I set for myself on Monday. Did I actually reach out to those 5 potential partners? Did I actually pitch that podcast? Did I record that YouTube? Whatever it might be. Friday is the accountability container to make sure that you didn't just plan to market, but you actually did it. And here's the best part. I personally try to end my day very early on Friday because you became an entrepreneur to have freedom, right? Me too. The golden rule of scheduling. Now, having a plan is wonderful, but sticking to it can be hard. So here is my golden rule. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. So don't just write marketing on a sticky note and be done with it. Put it on the calendar. Get more specific. Open your Google Calendar or iPhone calendar or whatever tool you use and block out Thursday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Record 2 podcasts. So don't try and do all of the things. Focus your time and your energy on small, specific tasks. And you need to block out time for your brain to rest too. Coaching is emotionally heavy, so give yourself some time and some space to recover from the taxing work that you're doing. A great way to do this is to move your body. Any kind of exercise will do, from time at the gym to just walking around your neighborhood and enjoying the sights. So stop trying to do everything every day. Batch your life. Protect your calendar, make things recurring, and watch how much more you get done. Now, if you are looking at your Marketing Thursday block and thinking, okay, but what do I actually do during this time to get clients? Can you help me answer that question, Christy? I've got you covered. I have a free marketing masterclass that breaks down the exact activities you should be focusing on to find paying clients without wasting time on things that don't work. So click the link in the description box below to watch it now and fill that calendar block with money-making, client-getting activities. And with that, that's all I've got for you today. I will see you in the next video.